If you want to cut your editing time in half, these Premiere Pro shortcut keys will change the way you edit forever. Over here, I've got a bunch of clips and images on my timeline, and I want to copy this graphic over to the end. Normally, you would click, copy, and then zoom out, then scrub over, then zoom back in before you paste. But instead of that, just copy the clip with Ctrl-C, press the backslash key to zoom out to the entire sequence, move your playhead over to the end, and press the backslash key again to return to your original zoom level. And now you can paste it exactly where you want. And it's not just for copying. This is a super quick way to jump around your timeline. Press the backslash key to zoom out, move to where you want to go, and then hit it again. And now you're back to your original view. And it will always return to whatever zoom level you were on. So if you were zoomed in pretty tight and you press the backslash key and go over to another side and press the backslash key again, it's gonna return to the same type view. Next off, Shift plus Home and Shift plus End. These shortcuts jump to the start and end of a clip, and they're incredibly useful for keyframing. When you scrub to the end of a clip in Effect Controls and add a keyframe, you might not realize it, but you're actually one frame outside the clip. So if you try to move things around like with position, you can see nothing changes because we're looking at the first frame of the next clip. But if we move back a little bit, you can see we actually made a change. If you disable Pin to Clip in the Effect Controls menu, and you zoom out and move forward a little bit and then zoom back in, you can see clearly that the last frame is just outside the clip's bounds. So instead of all that, just select the clip and press Shift Home to go to the start of the clip. And after placing a keyframe, you can press Shift End to go to the actual last frame of the clip. And if we zoom in right here, you can see this is the actual last frame. When we press Shift End, it goes to the actual last frame of the clip. And now your keyframes work perfectly. This is also a really fast way to go to the start or end of any clip or selected clips on your timeline. But if you're on the newer versions of Premiere from 25.2, if you actually move on the Effect Controls timeline to the end of the clip, it takes you to the actual end of the clip instead of the first frame of the next clip. So that's great, but the shortcut is still a really fast way to move around different clips on your timeline. If you want to move in and out of your timeline quickly, forget the scroll bars. Use the plus and minus key next to backspace, or press and hold Alt and scroll your mouse wheel, and it's gonna scroll to wherever your cursor is. Scrolling generally moves you horizontally, but if you press and hold Control while you scroll, it can move you vertically. And this is really helpful when you're working on tall timelines with a lot of layers. And now the slip tool. The shortcut key for that is the Y key. Now this is a perfect tool when you want to change the content of a clip without changing the duration or length on the timeline. Let's say you have a single audio file with 3 different sound effects at different points in time. You've used the first sound effect in your timeline and you've duplicated by clicking and dragging while holding Alt to make another copy on your timeline. Now to switch to a different sound effect without trimming and adjusting everything, you can just press Y on your keyboard and then drag the content of the clip. And as you can see, it reveals a different part of the clip, which is a different sound effect. So you're slipping the content inside the clip on your timeline while keeping the timing locked in. You can also slip from the source monitor. Just double click on the clip to load it up. And then if you go over here, you can see the time code right beside the name. And this means that this is not the original source file, but instead the version of this clip on the timeline. Zoom out with the minus key to see the in and out range, and then drag the selection using the hand icon over to the part of the audio that you want. This updates the content of the timeline clip, but doesn't affect the source file. When you want to move big sections of your timeline, don't waste time clicking and dragging. Press A on your keyboard to activate the Track Select Forward tool, and then click anywhere to the right of your timeline, and it's going to select everything forward. You can also click and drag to move chunks of your timeline all at once. Shift A does the same thing, but it selects backwards. If you only want to move one track instead of everything, just hold Shift while you're on the Track Select Forwards or Backwards tool. And once you hold Shift, it's only going to select that particular track. So if I'm on the Track Select Forwards tool like this and I hold Shift, I can select only V1 or only the captions track, and it's only going to select that particular track. And this could select forwards or backwards depending on what tool you're using. If you're looking for the shortcut to master video editing, inside DP Plus Academy, I've put together everything you need to go from absolute beginner to getting paid to edit videos for a living. You get instant access to over 10 hours of Premiere Pro training, an After Effects masterclass, real-world footage to practice with, and a brand new 4.5-hour workflow course, amongst others. all designed to make you more confident and way faster in your edits. And we're not just throwing courses at you. I host live weekly sessions where we go over your edits and you know exactly what to improve. Go ahead and check it out in the description below. Next up, we have match frame, and the shortcut key for this is F. This lets you load up the full source clip of whatever is beneath your playhead, or whatever is selected beneath your playhead. Just click on the clip and press F to open it in the source monitor at the exact frame your playhead is on. From there, you can grab other parts of the original clip, or just check context to understand what exactly is within that file. Now, reverse match frame is the opposite of that. If you press Shift R while a clip is loaded in the source monitor, Premiere will jump to the part of the timeline where that exact frame was used. If you keep pressing Shift R, Premiere will cycle through every instance where that exact frame was used on your timeline. And this is super helpful for finding out where exactly a clip has already been used. Next up is the Add Edit shortcut. The shortcut for this is Ctrl or Command K, and it cuts the clip right at the playhead. But it only works on targeted tracks, unless you manually select the clips and then press the shortcut, and then it's going to cut everything regardless. So if you press Ctrl K and nothing happens on certain clips, just check the track targeting. You can hold Shift and click on any one of the tracks and it's going to select all the tracks. And now if you press Ctrl K, it's going to cut everything. Or like I said, you can just select on the clips and press Ctrl K and it's going to cut the clips regardless of track targeting. Now this works perfectly with the Q and W key, which are ripple, trim previous or next edit to playhead, or as I'd like to call it, cut backwards and cut forwards. So if I bring my playhead over here and press Q, it's going to cut everything from the playhead toward the previous edit point, as you can see right here. If I put my playhead over here again and press W, it's going to cut everything towards the next edit point, as we can see right here. And it does a ripple edit, so it doesn't leave any gap. It's a super clean way to cut without ripple deleting manually. And if there's a music track or something that you don't want trimmed, you can just lock that track and then press the shortcut Q or W, and it's going to cut, leaving that track where it is because the track is actually locked, so nothing can happen to that particular track. So you can use Q or W and that track would not be affected. Now, all of these are default shortcuts, but I highly recommend customizing them. Press Ctrl-Alt-K to open the keyboard shortcut editor and map your most used keyboard shortcuts to something easier to reach. Typically, that would be under your left hand. Some commands like the zoom tool or even the snapping timeline can be moved around if it's not something that you use pretty often. Now, there's no perfect setup, so just make it fit how you generally work. I truly hope these tips are helpful, and I'll catch you in the next one.